Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my bookish life. Today I want to check in on my reading from February 17th to February 23rd. So let's get to it. I'm sorry, I have a very judgy director. So I'm at the home of my friend and I am dog sitting, and her dog is highly judging me talking to myself right now. It's fine. He will be eating his glares when he sees this video. Alright, so the last time that I checked in, I have finished 2 books. I was at 9, so now I am at 11 books for the month of February. I am in the middle of only 3 that I want to talk about today. So, I'm doing great. The first book that I finished was A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I actually finished this on Friday night, last Friday night, after I had already filmed my check-in. I didn't really, in my last check-in, talk about all of my reading on February 16th. It's fine. It really is. So I finished it on, what channel was I sprinting on? I was on somebody's channel sprinting. I can't remember whose channel I was on Friday, but I got a lot of reading in and it was delightful. I don't even know where to begin with this book because it is not a book that I would normally gravitate toward. But in true me fashion, it sounded so intriguing. This is the mega buddy read for the Girl Band Readathon hosted by Raining Blue Reads. And I don't know what it is with this book, but I was so hooked the whole time that I was reading and so intrigued and just delighted by the world building and delighted by the magic in it. It just enchanted me the whole time. And I really, really want to read the sequel. It's a duology. I can finish a series so quickly. I'm so excited. Anyway, let's maybe talk about the book, huh? So Jack is training as a bard on the mainland, and he gets called back to the island of Cadence where he grew up, where he was ostracized his whole life because he didn't know who his father was. And there are 2 groups of people on the island of Cadence. Tamerlane is the one that Jack belongs to, and his group, his family, is being targeted by somebody who is abducting all of the young girls. And Jack is a bard, so he plays music, and his type of music is particularly magic. So he gets called back by his former nemesis, Adara, to try and figure out where these girls have gone. And it's so intriguing, and I love the characters, and I loved so much about this. I was so in it. I was so in it the whole time. I gave it 4.5 stars. For the life of me, I don't know why I took off the 0.5 stars. I know there was a reason, so I'm not going to change it, but I gave it 4.5 stars. Love it. Totally recommend it, especially as somebody that isn't highly into adult fantasy, as I am not. It was such a good balance between world building and character building, and I just really, really enjoyed it a lot. And the second book that I finished was Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. I read this because the theme this month for the Silent Book Club that I belong to is romances by Black authors and or cozy fantasies. So I wanted a romance by a Black author, and I was scrolling through my want to read on Goodreads, and I came across Take a Hint, Dani Brown. And this is the second book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. I really enjoyed the first one. Enough that I wanted to read the second one. It wasn't my favorite by any means, but I really did enjoy the writing. It was a little spicier than I usually gravitate towards. Dani is very academic, and she strikes up a friendship with Zephyr. And Zephyr is working as a security guard. He's also a former football player. And he's a football player who has suffered greatly with general anxiety disorder, which is something that I struggle with. And really enjoyed that representation in this book, like a lot. She did a really wonderful job of capturing some of those emotions that I have felt before. So I really did appreciate that. This video goes viral of the two of them, and it's decided that they are dating. And it helps Zephyr's company that he's trying to build. It helps his company for this video going viral. So they decide to carry on this charade of them dating. And the hilarity ensues. And of course they fall in love because this is a romance with a fake dating trope. Like, that's what's going to happen. And I really did enjoy a lot of that storyline. However, this book is a little more crass than I usually read, and there was a lot more spice than I usually appreciate. I wasn't as in, and that coupled with the fact that Dani was grating to me. Like, she grated on my nerves. I don't know why. I didn't like her, and I didn't think she treated Zephyr very well sometimes. Other times I thought she treated him very well, but she jumped to a lot of conclusions and she was mean to him, and I didn't like that. And so, I don't know. I gave it 3.5 stars. I didn't hate it. I wouldn't not recommend it. I think this book is really interesting and intriguing, and there's a definite audience for this because I know that this is the favorite of the three for a lot of people. I definitely will read Act Your Age, Eve Brown at some point because it was really fun also to see Chloe and Red from the first book. I really enjoyed seeing them. All right, so let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading. And the books that I'm listen, okay. I am all over the place with this currently reading section of these check-ins because I am about 25% into Friends Don't. This is my buddy read with my sister Denise and Destiny, my bestie, and I'm enjoying this, but I'm only 25% in, mostly because I'm not sitting down and focusing to read physically right now very often. And when I am, I'm also reading other things and other books. I am really enjoying this, and I also wanted to read it one night, but I didn't want to carry the book with me to bed, so I borrowed it on KU so I could read it in my Kindle, which is how I roll sometimes. But I am enjoying this. I love Poppy and Mac. They are just great characters so far, and I'm loving the while you were sleeping vibes and I'm really enjoying it. I really am. So I'm only 25% in. Destiny's done with it, and my sister's is about 25% in as well. So, the sisters are really holding Destiny back on this one, and it's a really good thing that Destiny is pretty cool about that. So when I'm dog sitting, I usually like to kind of treat it as a little reading retreat for myself. So I'm going to get more reading done in this one today, and I'm very excited about it because I'm really enjoying it. I am also still reading Mountain on Fire by Rebecca E.F. Barone, and I'm really enjoying this, but it's taking a lot more of my energy to read it because it's nonfiction. Not a ton more, it's still middle grade nonfiction, but it's just really fascinating to watch all of the events unfold that lead to the eruption of Mount St. Helen. It just fascinates me how much people were just like, it's not a big deal, it is a big deal, and these two very smart groups of people are arguing about whether they're in danger or not, and they're all using scientific data. The book that has been taking up most of my time, because I'm just very fascinated by it. I wanted a cozy fantasy for the silent book clubs. So I had romance by a Black author, and I wanted a cozy fantasy because that was just the second half of it. And I don't know, I feel like a River Enchanted probably would have worked for that, but I just, whatever. So I was tuned into somebody's sprints, and somebody was talking about wanting to start Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Meahrer, and it was Laura's Bookish Life. And I had just picked up the audio from Audible during the 2-in-1 sale. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I could just read that. That sounds fabulous. And I've heard it's really funny, and I've heard it's really good. I'm 80% done with that. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really fun. Laura and I are doing it as a buddy read, and we both decided to try doing the buddy read on Storygraph, which is so fun. It's kind of interesting because it will show you comments based on how far you are in the book. So when Laura was at 59% and I was only on 44%, I couldn't see her 59% comment, which I thought was really cool because I don't get spoiled. One thing I do wish is that there was some kind of a video voice recording element component to it, because there are times when I just don't really want to text that much to comment. I'm so lazy. But it's really interesting for, to try. And Laura's just a fabulous person to read with. I'm having so much fun seeing her comments and checking in with her as we're reading. It's just really been great. It is absolutely ridiculous. We have Evie, who is just a sunshiny character, always happy and always wants everybody around her to be happy. And she is the assistant to a murdering villain who is terrorizing the kingdom she lives in. And it's wild. It's a wild ride. And I just have laughed out loud at so many points, so many places, and I just really enjoying it. So 80% done with that. That is where a lot of my focus has been. And I honestly haven't been reading a ton this week. Like, I just didn't read a ton this week. I am enjoying the story. I did find out that there is quite the cliffhanger at the end, and the next book doesn't come out until August, so that's really fun. But it does look like it's going to be a 3-book series so far. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's all up in the air. But anyway, I would love to know what you think of any of the books that I've talked about today. I especially want to know if you have read the second book in the Elements of Cadence. I really want to know if the sequel is going to leave me satisfied, I guess. I'd love to see anything you have to say down in the comments. I love chatting with you down there, and commenting, liking, and subscribing really help my channel grow, and I so appreciate it. I hope you're finding something wonderful to read, and until next time, happy reading. Bye! That she wrote, I enjoyed Get a Clue, Chloe Brown. I feel like that's not right. What is the Chloe one? It's not Get a Clue.